It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Well, we're right in the middle of the 2024 Paris Olympics, and boy, has it been exciting for some incredible American athletes. Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky. Yesterday, I was watching with my father-in-law, Kristen Faulkner, winning the women's road race. That she broke away. It was amazing. It was also so cool to watch that race because at one point the track went under the Eiffel Tower, and you get to see so many different sights in the city. And the whole time as I'm watching that race, I'm thinking, what streets are they going to close to do this in Los Angeles? Where are they going to have the women's road race? Because the LA 2028 Olympics are now less than 4 years away. And there's been a lot of talk about the preparation for it, whether it comes to public transit, whether it comes to public safety, or whether it comes to the homeless problem. And how exactly is this city going to work out in the Olympics? Is it going to be a triumph? Is it going to be an embarrassment? But for the people that live here, for the people that work here, do you want to be a part of it? Because as cool as the Olympics are to watch on TV, I am pretty afraid of having to get around town for those 3.5, 4 weeks. I don't know how well the public transit system is going to be up and running. Maybe I could work remotely the entire time, but I have been talking about with my wife the idea of getting out of town the entire time. And in fact, we live in the valley near Balboa Park and Woodley Park, and right near Balboa Park on, I think, White Oak and Oxnard is the Velodrome. That's where they do a lot of bicycling events. And Woodley Park is where they do the archery. So this is going to be, this part of the valley, there's going to be a lot of athletes here. Maybe I got to rent out my place, do a little Airbnb, go to Santa Fe for a month and cash in. The thought of that many tourists coming in and how bad the freeways are now, and the fact that 20 of the 28 by 28 projects that they say they're working on, most of them will not be done on time. I don't know if I want to be here for the 2028 Olympics. What say you? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Are you planning on getting out of town for the 2028 Olympics? 800-222-KABC. Did you get out of town for the 84 Olympics? I can't tell you that because I was born in 85, but I'd love to hear what it was like here in 1984 and if it was a good experience. But the thought of the traffic is getting me a little anxious, and I think I might just want to get out of town for the entire month, which means driving my cat to Santa Fe, which will be probably the worst 12 hours of my life. But after that, it'll be nice. 800-222-KABC. Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, has been in and out of Paris the entire time, and she's been doing a lot of interviews because the question on everybody's mind is, what does 2028 look like? What is it going to look like?
If you're feeling down, if you're feeling blue, let's get help for you.
She sat down with ABC7's David Ono. Let's get a preview of what 2028 is going to look like.
I sat down with LA Mayor Karen Bass here in Paris to talk to her about this massive undertaking for 2028. And we begin our conversation talking about LA's love for cars and our need to adapt.
I think the biggest challenge.
Okay, I'm scared already. LA is a car city, but we're going to need to adapt for the Olympics.
I think the biggest challenge is going to be a car-free Olympics. We need 3,000.
Wait, what does that mean? There is no logical way for me to get from the Valley to Culver City without a car. And that is not changing anytime soon. The city still hasn't, the metro still hasn't come up with a plan for the Sepulveda Pass, let alone started one.
A car-free Olympics. We need 3,000 buses to come into town. 3,000 buses won't all be electric vehicles because we're going to have to borrow them from many, many cities. So that in and of itself is going to be a logistical nightmare.
So when people hear car free, they're going to worry, does that mean I can't drive my car?
It does.
Oh, okay. Well, that might just accelerate the wanting to get out of town. Karen Bass says you will not be able to drive your car during the 2028 Olympics. How am I supposed to get to all the events if I want to go see the Olympics?
It means that if you're going to go to one of the Olympic venues, you are going to take public transportation. That's what it means. And, you know, for our city, where we're born with cars, it's going to be difficult.
And while Parisians are...
I mean, the laughing is because I don't know if the residents are going to be okay with that. I mean, hey, Olympics are fun. It's going to bring a lot of tourism and interest and history to the city. But there's a lot of people that got to get to work every day. There's 4 million people in this city. There's 10 million people in the county, and there's 20 million people in the greater region that all will be impacted if you can't drive a car in L.A. Oh, my. Here's the question, 800-222-KABC. Are you sticking around for the 2028 Olympics, or are you getting out of Dodge? Let's go to Joe in Santa Monica. Joe, hello.
Hey, I didn't know that the wonderful mayor had said something like that. It sounds like a good ad for KABC Radio for the complacent Californians to say, "Oh, no problem, we don't have to drive cars." That's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life. I can't believe.
I've been sitting on that clip for about a week. I had a feeling it would get that reaction.
It's unbelievable. I mean, if this city, you know, we've been silent about a lot of stuff, but if we put up with that, we can't put up with that. I was here in '84. No problem. Everyone, you know, a lot of people left, and like John said today on the show, you could drive around here with no problem. This lady, I hope everybody listening to this radio station reacts like I do, vehemently opposed, and will never let that happen. I'm going to drive my car, no matter what. But I was just going to say real quick, I'll shut up in a minute. The golf was incredible. I'm a golf nut. I love golf. I love great tournaments. I've never seen a tournament with so much enthusiasm, camaraderie, excitement, and the fact that Scotty Scheffler won is pretty nice. And they're going to have the golf over here at Riviera. So if I have to take the bus, maybe I can just ride my bike over there.
Maybe that'll work. But yeah, my father-in-law was so excited about Scotty Scheffler, and he was watching the golf yesterday morning. It's a real exciting time.
There was nothing, and it was really cool listening to the interviews of the different golfers. They were all saying, "I've never experienced anything like this." The crowds were and there were 30,000 people there. I think there were more people on that 18th green than there were at St. Andrews for the 150th Open. It was just a mob, and the vibe was so good. So anyhow, thanks, Randy. I appreciate the show.
Hey, appreciate you, Joe. Call in anytime. We love talking to you. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. Are you sticking around for the 2028 Car-Free Olympics, as dubbed by Karen Bass? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Andrew in Garden Grove. Andrew, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing great.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in L.A., but I'm definitely not going to go to L.A. during this time. However, I feel like all our prayers might be answered. I mean, the Olympics are coming to town. They might fix all the problems that we have just because there's an event, you know. When the president of China came, it seems like they cleaned up quite a bit. So you never know. They can improve our transportation. They might put into play all the fixes. Who knows?
Well, it definitely looks like that accelerates a lot of the things that need to get done in this city. I think what a lot of people find insulting, especially like the people in San Francisco, when they had the APEC ceremony, when they had the big, Asian conferences, why does it take an international event for you to clean up the city? Why can't you just do it anyway?
Right, yeah, it's because they're in the spotlight and all eyes are on LA, come that time. I mean, who knows? I mean, when the president came, a lot of homeless mysteriously disappeared. But I mean, yeah, that's just my take on it. Who knows? Maybe we might get some progress. But I pray for those homeless that did disappear during that time. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Well, thanks so much for the call, Andrew. Thanks so much. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Shelley in West Hills. Shelley, hello.
Hi there. Great to talk to you. Well, I am staying because I have to work, and I live in West Hills and work on the west side, and so I'm going to have to. But I was going to stay. I was going to go to events, and I called in before I heard what Karen Bass said. And so now I think it's going to be an S show. And the only reason, so why 1984 worked and the only way you can get 2028 to work is because they were smart enough to have all of the truck drivers drive from midnight until 5 in the morning. And that's why there was no traffic in 84. So as everybody calls and said, oh, yeah, it was great, there was no traffic, that's because all of the truck drivers cooperated and they all drove during the middle of the night. So there was,
that is fascinating. I have heard part of why it worked is there was definitely certain schedulings of certain industries. And the thing that I never seem to understand is if that works so well, then why aren't we figuring out things like that for all kinds of different industries to clean up the freeways when it's not the Olympics? I mean, the Olympics came and went 40 years ago, and traffic is just getting worse and worse and worse.
Oh, when school's in session, it takes me an hour and a half to go 20 miles in the morning. So I feel your pain when you have to go to Culver City from Lake Balboa. So. Oh,
I feel you. I know that life.
I just have to say this really quickly. I first started hearing you on Doug McIntyre, you know, when you were on in the morning as like doing sports and everything. And I thought, who is this guy? And I thought, God, he's a little weird. You became such an acquired taste, and I adore you now. I just think you're wonderful, so I just wanted to tell you that. You grew on me. So.
Well, thank you so much, Shelley. That means a lot. I really appreciate it. Please call again later. We'd love to talk to you anytime. That is so nice. She probably started listening to me when I was still on pot, and let's just say I was a lot more childish then than I am now. And you know what? All those years of working with Doug McIntyre absolutely rubbed off on me. You know, I learned about how to be funny on the radio from Tim Conway and Brian Whitman, and I'll always be grateful for that. Those years working for McIntyre got me to want to care about what was going on in the city and pay attention. And then as soon as I quit the weed, I started making a lot of connections in my brain of, oh, wow, this is happening because this is happening. And, well, we've been off to the races ever since then. That one can make it into a promo. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to David in Westchester. David, hello.
Hello, I'm staying. The other thing besides the scheduling, in 84, I was here. Traffic was great. Caltrans was not allowed to do any work and stop any traffic for those 2 weeks. So there were no lane closures. There were nothing like that. Traffic was easy. It was great. And why
that
don't
is
you learn
amazing.
from these past things and do these?
Because I'll tell you, and I'm sure you're aware of this, most of the time, if it's like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, the reason the freeway is slow is because they've shut down a lane to do street sweeping, but they're not really doing anything.
Exactly. Yeah, they cause more problems than they solve.
Definitely a point to be made there. David, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. We had the Olympics 40 years ago, and we learned all these lessons, and what did we do with them? Very little. We did get that second deck to LAX, so I guess there's that. What the heck is going on with LAX? Quick aside. I got home from Albuquerque yesterday in LAX, and when you get onto the arrivals, you got to go to the outside curb to get picked up because the inside curb is completely empty, 3 lanes sitting doing nothing for buses. What is that? That airport makes no sense. Anyway, 800-222-KABC is the phone number. The Olympics are coming in 4 short years. Karen Bass is calling it the car-free Olympics. Are you sticking around town? 800-222-KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're taking your calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We are 4 years away from the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. It's being dubbed by Mayor Karen Bass the Car-Free Olympics.
So when people hear car-free, they're going to worry, does that mean I can't drive my car?
It does. It means that if you're going to go to one of the Olympic venues, you are going to take public transportation. That's what it means. And, you know, for our city, where we're born with cars, it's going to be difficult.
Are you sticking around for the 2028 Olympics? Are you getting out of Dodge? What was LA like during the 84 Olympics? I don't know because I was born in 85. Actually, I was born on 8/5/85. Today is my 39th birthday. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Mern in Santa Clarita. Mern, hello.
Hey, hello to you and happy birthday to you. I was here in 1984. I'm a certified project manager, so I was with AT&T at the time. But anyway, I remember being amazed at how wonderful the traffic was. Now, here's the thing. It's not so much the driving, it's the parking that is also an issue. Where are all the, because, was everybody going to park? So there, we need to be aware of that. But nonetheless, when they plan the project, of course, they're going to have the whole transportation and parking aspect being part of the list of things that one plans. So it will get taken care of. But I do remember that it was not a problem, and I'm not exactly sure why. We were amazed. I lived in Torrance at the time, and by working for AT&T, I was traveling all over. I had clients all over the place where I was implementing their systems. So I have every hope because of the last experience.
Well, that puts a little hope in my heart because, if we did it then, why can't we do it now? I mean, our government is a little more dysfunctional than it was then, but hey, we can do this. Mern, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Rose in Santa Clarita. Rose, hello.
Hello. Hi,
hey.
Randy. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I just wanted to echo what everybody else was saying. I'm staying. Actually, we were thinking that when Olympics were going to come in 1984, we were going to leave. But really, the traffic was really wonderful. In fact, I got to work earlier. For some reason, there was really no traffic. The other thing is I wanted to add is it is Summer Olympics, correct?
Yes, it's going to be the Summer 2028 Olympics.
Yes, there's no school. When there's no school, as it is right now, even now with no school yet starting, traffic is not as bad as when it is when school is in. So school is out, so that's another logistics that they put into there. So it was actually wonderful. And the other thing is all the different venues. It's all over the place. It's all over Los Angeles. It's not just in one specific place. So like the swimming was in Long Beach Aquatic Center. They're in different places, so it's not like it's stuck in one place. That's why.
No, it's going to be all over the region. I mean, I've seen videos of the equestrian events where it's Santa Anita.
Yes, that is correct. So I think it just made things a little bit easier. I thought it was wonderful, to be honest with you. So I think hopefully that's what they'll do. That's why I'm hopeful. I think it will be fine. This thing with Karen Bass, apparently she wasn't here in 1984, so that's crazy what she's saying. That is totally crazy. Unless she pays for our salary for the people that have to be at work, I don't think that's going to work.
Well, you're giving me a little pause, and maybe I will stick around because you're definitely making it sound like it's going to be better than I think it's going to be. Rose, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. Simple question. Are you going to be sticking around for the 2028 Olympics, or are you going to get out of town for a month? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Karen Bass is calling this the car-free Olympics. Are you going to be staying for it? 800-222-KABC. Let's quickly go to Ron in Southgate. Ron, hello.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. By the way, happy birthday and many more.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the Olympics ever since the last one I saw was the 72 one, and I didn't want to deal with that no more after what happened with the terrorists. And the other thing is, aren't they supposed to be amateur athletes, not professionals? What's up with that?
Oh, that line has been
did that
blurred for a
change?
very long time.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that way. It's supposed to be amateurs, not pros. And the other thing is, this year's Olympics with that Last Supper thing that they did, and that transgender boxer that pounded that Italian girl, I'm done with the Olympics. I wish it was boycotted.
Well, I understand the concern. There's a little clarification. That boxer wasn't transgender. I know it's getting reported that way, but you can't even do that legally in Algeria. But there is a genetic condition she has, but she's not transgender. Thanks so much for the call, Ron. Appreciate it. Yeah, information spreads like wildfire on the internet, whether it's accurate or not. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Are you sticking around for the LA 2028 Olympics? 800-222-KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. The LA 2028 Olympics are 4 years away. Karen Bass is doing a whole bunch of interviews in Paris about what exactly it's going to be like, and she's dubbing it the car-free Olympics.
So when people hear car-free, they're going to worry, does that mean I can't drive my car?
It does. It means that if you're going to go to one of the Olympic venues, you are going to take public transportation. That's what it means. And, for our city, where we're born with cars, it's going to be difficult.
Are you planning on sticking around for the 2028 Olympics? Are you planning on going out of town for a month? If you were around in 84, what was that like? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Greg in Long Beach. Greg, hello.
Hi, Randy. A couple of comments. We live in Long Beach, so we are definitely sticking around for the Olympics. Long Beach is slated for 8 sports for 2028, so we want to take advantage of that. But for those who are not in Long Beach, the Blue Line or the B Line now is your route, and I can only imagine that if you have to drive to the Blue Line to catch it to Long Beach, you will be car free when you get back to your car.
That is a good point. Thank you so much for the call, Greg. Appreciate it. That was a good joke. Great setup. Fantastic delivery. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Matthew in Redondo. Matthew, hello.
How you doing, young man? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
No problem. I was around in 84, and we need somebody that is of the stature and caliber of Richard Riordan to make that program run. He had it down pat. The city did not suffer any substantial loss. In fact, I think they had a surplus of funds from the Olympics, and it was run like a business. They had people, you mentioned the large businesses, they were doing split shifts. Some were leaving and going to work at 6, and some were going to work at 10, and you just cut the flow of traffic in half, and it worked.
I've heard so many great stories about how efficient this city was being during that time, and then we learned all those lessons and didn't do anything with them, but maybe we'll do them again for 2028.
Well, what they need to do is find the blueprint for what Richard Riordan did, because He was the mayor, but he's also a businessman, and he knew how to put it together.
There you go, Matthew. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. And just remember, even though Karen Bass is the one organizing it right now, she most likely will still be mayor in 2028, but there will be another election in 2026 that she'll probably win. 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Thomas in Valencia. Thomas, hello.
Hi, Randy. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Just calling to wish you a happy birthday as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And as far as the Olympics in Los Angeles go, you drive down the 405 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you tell me if we need an Olympics here.
I do it at 3 o'clock every day, and I can tell you I don't know how we're going to do it.
Exactly. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Bob in Yorba Linda. Bob, hello.
Hi, and thank you, and happy birthday. I think that her idea is sort of real wacky. If she wants to have a real good idea to copy Paris, plug up the L.A. River, fill it on up. That'll get rid of a lot of homeless people, and let the sidelines welcome all the different countries to the 84. I've been in 4 different Olympic events, and I hope to live long enough to get one more in Salt Lake City because I'm a past Olympian of 1960 Squaw Valley Games.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've called in before, Bob. You know what's funny is specifically about the L.A. River is, you remember there used to be the L.A. River 2020 project. By 2020, they were supposed to turn massive parts of that river into like an actual flowing recreational river that you could have like apartments next to. And, well, that never happened.
Yeah, well, Anaheim did an event about 8 or 9 years ago where they had water skiing competition in the Santa Ana River. They plugged it on up. It was a fantastic success, and the people just sat on the sidelines, and it was a great thing. And with the Olympic Games in Los Angeles, they're going to be spread around so far with Mission Viejo and the Velodrome down in Carson and Santa Anita and all the different places. You know, it's ridiculous about trying not to drive.
Well, thanks so much for the call, Bob. Appreciate it. You know, the many times now that I've been to Texas tubing with my wife, I've always wondered, why is the LA River this concrete, vacant, homeless shelter and not like a beautiful, flowing, recreational river that people can enjoy? But, it's LA. Let's go to Mark in LA. Mark, hello.
Hello. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So I got out of town in '84, and when I got back, everybody told me what a mistake I made. So I'm sticking around this time, and hopefully I'll get to enjoy it close to retirement age, so I should be able to go to a lot of events, and I'm looking forward to that. I also want to take issue with the Karen Bass comments, although I'm going to support it. I remember back in the day going to Disneyland, and you take a tram from the parking lot to the front gate. That's all she's talking about. She says if you go to the venue, you'll need to take a bus. Okay, just a question of how far away it's going to be.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe you've got the right context for what she's saying. Thanks so much for the call, Mark. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. Before we get back to our callers, and thank you so much for the birthday wishes. That means a lot. I know it's August, but it's already time to talk Christmas. Okay, this is a huge one. And the one guy who's been trying to call in since 5 o'clock to get the tickets, how many phones do you have? We have a contest line here, and I can see that there's a guy who calls in, and he's calling in with 3 different phones on all 3 lines at the same time. I don't know if he's going to win, but I sure hope you do, because 790 KABC welcomes Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey's Christmas Time at the Hollywood Bowl on November 8th. Tickets are on sale Friday at Ticketmaster.com, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. You know, I used to be a hater of All I Want for Christmas Is You until my wife got me into Love Actually, and now I'm a sucker for it. Let's go to Kim in Chino Hills. Kim, hello.
Happy birthday to you, Randy. Number one.
Thank you.
Number two, I went to view the dressage at Santa Anita, had no problem. And then also the pentathlon, which I don't think they have anymore at Coto de Caza. But that being said, there's a lot more people here. But her comments really, really bothered me. It's coming from a communist who is got to limit our choices. And I really think they are short-sighted if they're going to take that tack. And it should be open to all ways of getting to the event so that anybody and everybody can come that wants to, because this is America.
I totally agree. You know, if you want to be about multimodal, that's one thing, but just saying you're going to have to get on a bus is a little interesting. You know, as much as we've thought about getting out of town, I have a feeling, because my wife is an equestrian, that she would have so much fun seeing some of the horse showing events if we're in person here. So maybe we will stick around.
Well, Santa Anita does a great job with their horse racing as well as with their shows. I've even shown there back in the day. And we got to keep that venue going as well in California, which is another whole other issue. But
oh, yeah. Kim, thank you so much for the call and nice words. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you can still see a bunch of videos on YouTube of what the Santa Anita horse shows look like at the '84 Olympics. It's pretty darn cool. More of your calls coming up shortly. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's go to Terry in LA. Terry, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Randy? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm going to stick around. I was at the 84, and the nice thing, I know they say it's the L.A. Olympics, but it's really the L.A. Southern California area. There were events all the way from Kern down to Mission Viejo, Long Beach. So, and the other thing about Karen Bass, I call it the good idea fairies. These people have these great ideas until they put them into place. And so it will probably change. And the good news is she's not in control of Mission Viejo and Long Beach and Arcadia and where all these other events. So, people will probably find their way out of L.A. to see a lot of other events and not have to necessarily go in the downtown area unless they're really into swimming and track, where most of those are going to be occurring.
That is a really good point. So many of these events are in cities that are not Los Angeles. I love that. Terry, thank you so much for the call and the birthday shout out. Appreciate it. Y'all are so nice. If you'd like to email us, you could do so at randykabc@gmail.com. AJ says, I already avoid the city of LA at all costs. What's the mayor going to do with all the homeless and the RVs that are parked everywhere, especially since up north they're offering bus tickets out of town and they might end up here? And why do we have to be on our best behavior when the Olympics are in town? Fair point. Let's go to Mike in LA. Mike, hello.
Hi, my wife and I own a children's sports school here in Los Angeles, and way back then we were just starting, and parents and everyone said, anyone that can afford it we're going to leave. And she and I went to every venue at will. It was just so easy. And other people and those that left, many of them made money off of their house because they Airbnb'd it before Airbnb, and they leased their house to people coming to see the Olympics, and that helped and everything. Plus, our foundation, Sports Foundation, has been recipient of the $250 million approximately that was left over after all the bills were paid. And the people running the Olympics, like the one person who ran for mayor and lost, sadly, they created all that extra money from running it correctly and keeping everybody happy too at the same time. As for Mayor Bass, jeepers, it's just a sad scenario. She plays the same tune every time, and this just seems like the biggest opportunity for the D party to just tell us what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And if you don't like it, get the hell out of town. Yeah,
well, Mike, I love hearing that about the '84 Olympics and your foundation, and I hope this one is well run as last one. If we did it then, we could do it now. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe the thing is to stick around and to hold the feet to the fire of our local elected so they start doing their job so this place is in the best shape possible, not just in 2028, but in 27, 26. Let's keep going here. If we're going to clean up the homeless by 28, let's do it by 25. Let's do it now. Thank you all so much for listening, and thanks so much for the birthday shout-outs. Yes, I am 39 years old today, and I have been in radio for 18 years. So that'll tell you how early I got into this game, and I'm so happy to be here doing this every single day for you. We're here from 5 to 6. If you ever miss an episode of the show, search for the News Blitz wherever you get podcasts. Hopefully it's there, or go to kabc.com/newsblitz, kabc.com/newsblitz. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 for another News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.